Hi everyone, Jeremy here from Video the Studio, and today I'll show you how to use our journalist pack. It contains over 100 assets across 15 different categories, and in this video we'll be exploring each of those categories and the different features available. This pack has been designed to give you a consistent visual identity throughout your edit and speed up your workflow. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. Alright, so once you purchase the pack, you will get this zip file. Just double click on it to unzip it. It will give you a folder. In that folder, you'll find a couple of things. You have the license, the installation instruction, the GFX file, and the font. Please make sure to install all the font, otherwise the title will not work because Davinci will not know what font to use. To install the font, simply select all of them and double click on them to start the installation process. Or if you're on Windows, just right click and select install. Then once that's done, you can go over to the TRFX file and double click on that to prompt open that window. And here, just select install. Once in Davinci Resolve, you can find all of the assets by going over to your effect library, titles, Video the Studio, and then here you can scroll until you find the journalist pack. In it, you will find the 15 different categories. We're gonna go over all of them and just show you what you can do with them. Let's start with the first one, being the background. The 10 different backgrounds share exactly the same kind of feature. We're gonna take that number 6 and drag it right here in our timeline, and we're gonna use that as the base for our entire edit. If you play it, you'll see that there is a displacement on the background to animate it, and you basically can control the speed of that displacement by adjusting here the frame hold. If you reduce that, the speed is gonna be faster, and then if you increase it, you're basically gonna add more delay between each of the frame swapping. You can do a lot of customization to that specific background. We have here a color and blend control where you can basically add a tint to that background. So here, if we put that on and then adjust the gain, as you can see now, we can tint that paper in a red color. We can also change that color to whatever we want. And we can also adjust the blending mode, and that's gonna affect the blending in different ways. At any moment, if you want to reset a parameter to the default value, you can just double click on it and it will just reset that parameter to the default value. You also have control over the size and position, but not only the global size and position, but also the size and position of each individual framing. So right now, as you can see, it's changing framing every couple of seconds. So you could go here, for example, to the frame number 1, and we could easily adjust, the size, the position, the angle of that frame to basically give you a different vibe for the background. So you can adjust each of those displacements. Additionally, you have access here to the contrast, so you can basically play around with that contrast to make it, darker or brighter. You can also here adjust the dim and the vignette. So you could add a global dim here to the frame, and it's basically going to darken the entire frame. That way, if, for example, it is too bright and it's distracting from whatever you have on top, well, you can increase that to create more separation between the background and whatever you have on top of that background. We also have here a vignette that you can use to recenter the focus. So here you can play around with the size of that vignette. You can play around with the softness of the vignette, as well as the transparency of that vignette. And finally, the last cool feature about those background is here the grid. You can do so much with this. So right now by default it's off, but you can increase the grid opacity to bring that in. Right now we're not gonna go all the way up. We can just go maybe halfway. You can adjust the size of that grid. You can adjust the position, the angle, and also the refraction. So basically it's taking the texture from the thing in the background and apply that to the grid. So here you can play around with that and it will displace the grid slightly to give that grid some texture. That way you can really integrate it well with the background and feel like it's drawn directly on whatever texture you have with that background. You can also make more adjustment here to the line. By default, it's fill, but you can also select dash or detail and also change the color of that line if you want to have any other color. So that's pretty much it for the background. You get 10 different textures that you can choose from and that you can adjust to make it fit your edit perfectly. Now the next section is intro card. So in this one, you have 8 different intro cards that you can choose from. They all pretty much share the same feature, but some have some specific stuff in them. So we're gonna cover that right now. So for example, here, if we bring number 4, as you can see, this one got a loader with an outline around the image that you are loading. I'm gonna show you in a second how to do that in the inspector. But first, as you can see, if we play it, right now we might be dropping a couple of frames because this title got quite a few features built in, and therefore the playback sometimes might be a bit harsh. At least on the first playthrough, but then generally when you play it a second time, it should be all right. But depending on your computer, you might not get real-time playback right away. So a quick trick is simply to go over to Playback and then here, render cache, select Smart. It's just gonna bring a red bar right above your title. And basically when that red bar turned from red to blue, it means that the title has been fully caching and you will get a real-time playback. So now as you can see, if we play it again, we're getting 30 FPS without any issue. Now here is how you can customize that title card. Here you will have all the ways with every title in that pack, control over the animation length for the in and for the out, as well as the style. For this one specifically, you don't have the style for the animation in because it uses multiple elements all at once to create that animation. Right now, the animation length is about 1.5 seconds. If you want that to be longer, you can just input here, for example, 3 seconds. And if you want that to be shorter, you can do something like 0.5, for example. Any of the title will always have the global size and position, so you can easily adjust the global size of your title as well as the position of this. But for a title card like this one, generally it's better to adjust everything independently to create the composition that you like. Now let's replace that image. We're going to go over to image, and then here we have a loader. We can just browse whatever image we have available on our computer. So for example, here I can bring that key. And as you can see, that media has been added with an outline all around it. We can then adjust the overall position of that media to place it wherever we want on our frame. We can also adjust the size. We can adjust the border. So here we could swap that for like red if we want to do that. Now you can pretty much adjust everything else that you see on screen. Here you have the various text. You have a style selector that we're gonna go through a bit later on in this video, and we can make a modification as well here, for example, to the star, adjust the border width of that star to basically shape it in different ways. So you have 8 different cards that you can choose from. Again, they share pretty much the same functionality. It's just up to you to adjust them so they fit your project. Then for the next couple section, like lower third, centered, location, quote, time and date, it's pretty much always the same principle. They don't have that many other feature. It's just up to you to just adapt them again to fit your project perfectly. But the feature pretty much stayed the same across all of the different assets. It's only the design style that is changing. At the exception here of, for example, quote that have a few functionality that are quite cool. For example, this one, quote number 4, you have basically a continuous animation on the shape of the box. It's not only on quote, you will find it also a bit in lower third, center, location, and time and date. But pretty much here, as you can see, if you play it, you will have a continuous animation on the border of that rectangle. You can adjust the texture of that border by going here over to the inspector and then here select quote, and you will find the frame hold similar to what we just saw in the background, where you can basically increase the speed or decrease the speed of the border animation. And you can also adjust the X refraction, Y refraction, and scale to adjust the texture and evenness of that animation. So here, if I were to bring everything to the maximum, as you can see, is gonna behave in a very different way. So it's up to you to tweak those to get like the result that you want. By default, we went for something that is a bit more subtle, but if you want to have a bit more of like a ripped paper texture, you could increase the scale and increase the refraction, and you will get basically like a bit more bump on the edges of that animation. Now for the next category, we got some callouts. So you have some with branch and some without branch. So you could use the same here, something with a loader, and you will have basically a simple pointer. You can then make the usual modification, load whatever image is available on your computer. You can modify the text. So here we could write baseball. And for each of the text element, basically you can modify here to select style. So for example, if here baseball doesn't cover the entirety of the loader and you want it to cover the entirety of the loader, you could increase the extended horizontal, and now basically we'll just stretch that box. The cool thing with using that style selector is that now that box is basically adapting automatically to the text. So if we're adding more text, the box will adapt to that without any issue. You have a bunch of different things that you can choose from in there. So now as you can see, we have the box, but you could also select here a text outline. You also have a text box outline. We have a top line, a bottom line, text shadow, and then here a text glow. So all those elements can really help you elevate the overall vibe of your title and give it exactly the look that you're looking for. We also have a pointer section that contains 5 different pointers that you can use to refocus the attention of your viewer on a specific element on screen. Then we have the image loaders, which are basically a way to load images in more interesting ways. So they will have some additional element like a paperclip, for example, or like a frame, a Polaroid frame around, or some tapes to just make those elements a bit more interesting. It works exactly in the same way as every other loader that we saw together, where you can just go to image loader and then here load any images that is available on your computer. Next, we have counters and KPI, which are basically 10 different infographics that you could use. So here, if we were to bring, let's say, number 3, it got both a percentage and basically a way to help you represent how much of that percentage is being displayed. So here, for example, we could select 80% instead, and then all we have to do is go over to the dot and adjust the vertical scale to 8. That means basically we're going to be covering 8 of those 10 points. So you can basically use that to select exactly the percentage that you want with the amount of dot being displayed. You can also adjust the size of those dots as well as changing the shape of them. So here, for example, if you want to have some square instead, you could do that by adjusting the corner radius. Sometimes the behavior across infographic are not exactly the same because of animation constraint or for the usability aspect of it. So for this one, basically the percentage and then the display are separated. But if we were to take, let's say, number 4, the bar will automatically adapt exactly to the percentage being displayed. So right now, for example, it's going all the way up to 50%. But this time, if I were to adjust, let's say to 75, as you can see, the bar is automatically adjusting to it, just because for that design, that make more sense. And that was simpler to do it this way. Now, next up, we have the list. So here you can do quite a lot with those. If I were to drag, for example, number 3, extend it, and then we can adjust the number of points that we have. So here I could select 6, for example. Then if we want to fill up the frame a bit more, we could use the point spacing to space them up. By default, they're all coming one by one. But if you want, you could have, for example, most of them coming up and then having step by step the additional point being added. So you could simply do that by here making a cut where you want that to happen. And then here on the second title that has been created when you cut, you can add an additional point. And then here select individual instead of group. Now you will basically have your 6 point and then the 7 point is going to come into frame. And you will have that functionality across all of the different lists in that category. Now for the next category, you got timelines. There is 5 different assets that you can choose from, and they basically have the same functionality as the list. So you can also do that all at once or individual animation thing. You can adjust the point count and you can here adjust the point spacing. Then we got some graph and chart. So we have some bar chart, we have some curve chart where you can select also here the point count and then adjust the individual point on a vertical axis to display the data that you want. And then you can change the value on the X and Y aspect. Also, you have, again, the same feature with the point spacing. So for example, here, because we've reduced the point, obviously we're not covering the entire frame of the graph. So now we can just expand that to cover up the entirety of it. And then the final category is comparison, which are additional infographic to help you compare a set of data. So here, for example, we have those 2 bar charts, and it's just a very nice and easy way to display 2 different percentage value, for example. And that's pretty much it. I hope this video was helpful. If you want to try it out, you can download the sample for this pack, which contains 6 different assets that you can try for free and use in any of your projects. Then you can see if that's a good fit for you. And if you're interested, you can find the full pack available on the website. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. If you need motion graphic assets for Davinci Resolve, we have over 50 carefully crafted packs available on our website, including transitions, effects, and titles built specifically for Davinci Resolve. You can get started now, completely free, by downloading our starter pack that contains over 300 assets. Get it with the link in the description below or directly on our website at videoeditorstudio.com.